Good Saturday morning, all you fabulous freight masters out there. I'm going to wait just a quick moment, wait for one or two or three or however many you decide to jump on here with me. Um, but our new Facebook partner, Carrier OK, right? Very similar to Carrier 411 at half the price. Which, by the way, if you don't have your coupon code for your first month free, hit them up. But this post that I posted yesterday in the group that you see here, if you're not a member of the group or you haven't seen it yet, it's a heat map that Carrier OK had sent to me with all of the hotspots for the double brokering, right? And in this, it mentions an address where there's 15 other registered carrier and broker MCs, many with several reports of double brokering. Okay, so I really kind of wanted to jump back on here and type back in the comments and reply to some of y'all, because I do see that, some of you guys, it obviously it hit a sore spot. And this doesn't just affect carriers. Excuse me. If you're a broker and you pull a carrier off of the load board, how do you really know that they're not double brokering that load? Right? Is this going to cost you a customer relationship? So the way I look at all of this is that this isn't just a carrier problem or just a broker's problem. I truly believe that this is something that, as carriers and brokers, we need to kind of be united to combat all of this scamming that's going on, right? Well, going back to the post here with this address, the suite number, and everything, if you haven't already, I did do a little bit further checking into this address, okay? And I'm going to share that with you in here just a second. Let me switch screens here. Oh, okay. So 800 West Main Street, Suite 1460 in Boise, Idaho, comes back to a virtual office, right? You guys see that? So there's nobody really there. My feeling is that a lot of this that's going on and setting up these virtual offices is that they're brokerages and carriers that are operating outside of the U.S. Now, I don't have statistics on it, and I'm trying to find that, and I really wish that I had it, because I would love to throw that up here and share that with you guys. But when you see stuff like this, I mean, do the math, right? It's not hard to deduce that this is happening with people that are operating from outside of the U.S. So what happens? There's little to no recourse. If they're in Brazil or Pakistan or Sri Lanka or wherever, Ukraine, it doesn't matter. They're on the other side of the world, right? And if there's 15 companies sharing the same suite number, you can almost deduce that they are all in cahoots together, right? Or maybe it's the same person with 15 different carrier and brokerage MCs, right? And they'll operate for 4 to 6 months, and when their bond gets filed on, boop, that's it. Right? You got to be quick on the trigger to try to get your money from the bond company. I apologize. I forgot to turn on the comments here. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, and again, if you guys have any comments on this, anything that you would like to share, if you know of anybody that's been double brokering, or anything that you would like to add, by all means, hit me with it, right? Um, I'm one man just trying to educate those of you in YouTube world and on the Facebook group. Again, if you're not a part of the Facebook group, I would highly encourage you to join. Um, but and if you guys see any like spammy posts in the group, not to get sidetracked here, please report that to us. We have admins, or myself as the admin, and we have moderators that we really try to keep the group spam free. We don't want that. We want this a place for everybody to flourish and grow and network and succeed, right? But the scamming has really, really, really gotten out of control. And honestly, if the FMCSA would stop letting individuals who do not reside in the U.S., if they would stop them from allowing them to get their MC and DOT, I think that alone would probably help out with this a lot, right? Because there again, like I mentioned, there's no recourse. If they're operating from overseas, what, the cops show up at their house, show up at their office? Well, they can't go to their office because it's a virtual office, right? There's nobody there, or it's some outsourced call center. They have no idea what's going on. They're doing a job, right? They're making phone calls, answering calls. They have no idea probably what's going on. They think everything's on the up and up, but it's not. And if you're an upset broker or carrier, you're not, well, I live in Boise, or I'm close enough to Boise, I'm just going to go down there and give them my 2 cents and get my check. From who? There's nobody there. Right? What I would really love to do, and I'm going to try to put this together, is I would really love to get Tom from Operify and the owner over there at Carrier OK to jump on here with me at the same time to really dig into this a lot further, because I think that this is I think that this is not just an issue for carriers to deal with or just brokers. I think that this is something that we all need to be united on to combat, because like I mentioned in my video yesterday, a lot of the scamming with stealing DOT numbers and the identity theft is costing carriers thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Well, over the course, that adds up. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised, as a whole, it probably costs millions of dollars a year from carriers, right? In lost revenue, and brokers as well, because they're losing that customer relationship. If that customer is worth $100,000 a year in net revenue to you, and you lose that customer because of these double brokers, that's lost revenue for you as well, right? So again, I truly feel like we all need to be united in this, and that we need to combat this together. And if you guys find something or hear about something, either bring it to my attention or post it in the group. Please share that information. I beg of you, right? Because this is something that's, it's always been an issue, but, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it always seems like whenever we're in a down market, this scamming and stuff tends to be, it rears its ugly head significantly more than it does in an up market. And again, like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but just in my personal experience, it just sort of seems like that's kind of what's happening. And it sucks, that we can't just rely on going to Safer and checking out, okay, you look legit. No, we need to be checking the DAT directory reviews, We need to checking with insurance companies. We need to be checking with the factoring companies, running credit checks and things, checking carrier okay. Like all of these steps that we need to do now as brokers and carriers to make sure that the person that we're doing business with is on the up and up, right? Okay, we got a comment here. I'm going to throw this up for you guys. There needs to be a centralized system and verification process with regards to addresses and how long that address has been in use. Insurance should also be a part of this process. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. And you would think, right, that when we go to Safer, that should be the end all of everything when it comes to checking carriers and brokers. But unfortunately, it's not. Even something as simple as insurance revocation, right? Like I mentioned, a broker friend of mine, he had this carrier that he'd been working with. I believe I mentioned this yesterday. And the carrier's insurance had expired. It had been expired for nearly a month, but according to Safer, everything was still good, right? And so the carrier ended up damaging the property at the receiver. I believe it was. It might have been the shipper, but I want to say it was the receiver. And, you know, of course, then there's going to be a claim. Well, now there's no insurance to send the claim to, right? And this was a carrier that they'd been working with for quite some time. So, you know, you can kind of say, well, I've got a long-standing relationship with this broker or this carrier, but unfortunately, with, you know, the market being what it is, even some of those that we have great relationships with, those businesses are suffering right now financially, and I'm sure that probably that carrier wanted to keep everything on the up and up, but they just sort of fell behind, and they're trying to probably get insurance renewed, maybe through a new insurance company. But during that lapse, things happen, right? And they didn't stop running. They just kept accepting loads. So, okay. Hi, Brandon. Thanks for joining. We got another comment here on part of the shippers. All shippers must check the truck MC matches the rate con. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. Yep. If you're not getting the driver's phone number and name, right? And because I've run into this over the years, I've, you know, booked a truck over the, you know, on the load board. Might have been a new lane or whatever it was, or maybe one of my regulars just wasn't available. You know, so I had to go to the load board to, you know, find another truck. And so when I asked for, you know, driver's name, phone number, this and that, and I do the follow-up, right, as part of my verification to check to make sure that, you know, yes, this is the driver and everything. And then when I call, I don't get an answer. Wait 15, 20 minutes, you know, maybe they're fueling or something, you know, try again, or, you know, whatever, or maybe my customer required that I put tracking on that load, right? I don't always like to do tracking. Now some of you go, oh, you got to do track. Well, you know, with my regulars, usually, you know, they're on the up and up with me. But anywho, so then I get a hold of the dispatcher, and they go, oh, well, they're an old man. They don't have a smartphone. They don't speak English. They're an alien. You know, they've got webbed feet or whatever. There's 1,000 excuses why I can't track the driver, call the driver, or anything. That right there alone is a huge red flag for me, right? Or ETA is 2 p.m. Well, driver doesn't show up at 2 p.m. He's not there at 3. He's not there at 4. You know what I mean? We all need to be working on this together. Let's see. Insurance and factoring must work together to hold and stop payment while sending out letters and mail 1 month before the insurance policy ends. If all stakeholders come together, FMCSA will comply. Yeah. I also think, especially after what happened to that friend of mine, again, with that carrier that he'd been working with on the regular, I think that, and I don't know, maybe I'm out of left field on this one, but I feel like insurance companies should have maybe some sort of a login to the FMCSA where they can update in real time if a bond, is going bad, or if the carrier's insurance is being revoked or anything. I think that this is kind of like why we have carrier OK and things like that, and that's why it's necessary, because anytime you deal with the government, right, they move very slow, they do a lot of things that are messed up, and you're like, that's not even what we asked for, right? It's sort of like, the 9 worst words you can hear is, I'm from the government and I'm here to help, right? Well, how much real help have they given us? But yes, I agree. Factoring companies, insurance companies, we should have some sort of a come together with all of that for sure. It's out of control, and the FMCSA isn't really doing anything about it. A lot of lip service, but in this day and age with the technology that we have, yes, something should be able to be put in place, right? I mean, they put Obamacare into place practically overnight, website and everything. Why can't we have, something that updates in real time to protect carriers and brokers so that we can avoid these scams and things? So again, when you, as a broker or a carrier, when we see stuff like this, and I'm going to flip back to the post, when we see stuff like this with the address and phone number, especially if you see a suite number or something, do a Google check. We all have access to Google. We all have smartphones, laptops, desktops, and everything, right? Search that address. It took me 2 seconds to find out that these 15 MCs were operating out of a virtual office. 2 seconds on a Google search. Right? This BS needs to stop, because it's costing the industry millions and millions and millions of dollars, and good carriers and brokers are suffering. It's costing you, it's costing me, it's costing shippers, it's costing everybody. And it's truly sad that we have to run through so many checks, insurance companies verifying the address, like I just did, FMCSA, factoring, calling. If we keep going, there could be like 9 different steps that we have to follow. Meanwhile, if you, just as an example, if you're a broker and you're doing all of this to make sure that your carrier is on the up and up, who called you on a load you posted on DAT, it might be 45 minutes, an hour. By the time you get done making phone calls, getting a call back from the insurance company to verify everything, meanwhile, that carrier is waiting on a rate confirmation. They're getting impatient, right? Move, 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 move. But that's the nature of the beast now, and I don't have a magic bullet answer. I wish I did. But it's costing everybody. And the FMCSA needs to step in and do something about this. And again, when there's things like this going on with the virtual offices and they're operating from overseas. If you're not a resident of the U.S. and you've, I don't mean just a work visa or something. If you're not a citizen of the U.S., you don't get a motor carrier authority. You don't get a DOT number. Simple as that. Because these fly-night people from wherever halfway around the globe, there's no recourse. What are you going to do? You guys have any other ideas on how to stop this? Please enlighten me. Because I don't know what else to do about it. Other than to spend, like I said, 45 minutes to an hour to check everything. Which reminds me, if you are a carrier and you don't know how to file on a broker's bond, this is free information over at our group and channel partner, Operify. They've got a blog article right here, how to file on a broker's bond, right? I've told you guys about some of the owner-operators. There was a husband and wife team recently that I spoke to. They didn't know how to even find out who the bond company was for this broker who hadn't paid them. If you're new or you don't already know how to find out who the bond company is, how to file on a broker's bond, it's right here. The information's right here. You don't even need to be a customer of Operify, right? But this is one of the things that I love about them, is that they share out so much valuable information, right? They've got a carrier boot camp, all of these things to help you be successful and grow, right? Benefits of dispatch service, double brokering, common fraud scenarios and transportation factory, all this stuff, right? Let's jump over here for a second. Carrier OK. Again, and if you guys still need it, if you didn't see it, I've got the coupon code for your first month free on the pro version, right? They have, as soon as this switches over here. Oh, I don't know why that is like that. Okay, but you get, it's literally half the price of Carrier 411. You get your first month free with the thing. I get no kickback from this. It's not like an affiliate thing. It was just something that I put in place for you guys, right? Bunch of great people over there. Absolutely love them, and I really hope to have them on, and Tom from Operify to kind of dig into these scams and double brokering and stuff, and really share some more information with you guys. And hopefully I can put that together this coming week. But a lot of great information. Check them out. I encourage you. Carrier OK. It's carrier-ok.com. Okay. But a lot of great information. This is why I help provide you guys with these tools and services and things that really benefit us and protect ourselves and our businesses. Right? I don't ever want to see anybody fail. And when I get those phone calls or those messages, or I get a call from a friend saying, hey, I know somebody that's having an issue with this broker or this carrier, and they're not exactly sure how to go about handling it. You know, they can do this, they can do that. Is it okay if I give them your number and they call you? Absolutely. You know, but it literally, I don't know, and maybe I take some of this too personally, but it literally like almost makes me sick to my stomach, because I hate seeing this happen to you guys. I don't want it to happen to me. I don't want it to happen to you. It affects not just us, but our families and things. Like that scam I in the video that I did yesterday. You know, if it ended up costing you and business thousands of dollars or inevitably forced you out of business because your DOT number got stolen, how would that affect you and your family? Right? And this again, why I say, and there never should be like a us versus them mentality with brokers and carriers. But I think that we need to come together. And if it means us coming together and reaching out to the FMCSA to express these concerns and our ideas to fix it, maybe that's what we need to do. I'm not saying, 1,000 carriers show up in front of the FMCSA or something. We all saw how those have turned out in the past when there's 25 to 50 people that actually end up showing up after all that's been organized. But I think maybe, I don't know, and I'm spitballing here, right? Maybe we all kind of get together with a list of demands that as a whole, those of us in the industry want to see and force the government to do this. I don't know. You guys tell me. But I've got some more stuff that I want to share from Carrier OK. But when they sent me this, I had to get this out to you guys, right? Because this is just out of control. Absolutely out of control. And it almost seems like you wake up every morning and there's some new scam, some new tactic that they're using, some loophole, right? And it's affecting everybody. Shippers, carriers, and brokers. With the way the market is going, people will get frustrated enough to do something about it. Well, yeah, I hope so. But we need to be unified when we do it, right? It can't just be, there's 200 of us or something. We really need to put something together. And I don't know, maybe we need to, collaborate with a couple of other groups on Facebook, YouTube channels or something. I would never want to collaborate with some of these other spammy groups and things that just sort of like let everything run rampant. But there's a couple of other groups, Rates and Lanes, Kenny Long over there. If you're not familiar with him, great guy, a lot of very intelligent man, and a lot of great information from him as well. Shaggy, Shaggy's a part of the group. He's a moderator, in fact, over here. He does videos and things as well. So, check him out if you haven't already. Guys, I apologize. I don't know. Sore throat today a little bit. I don't know. I was talking a lot last night, so but so yeah, we need more than like 200 of us or something. I truly believe that. And if both sides, not just one side, comes together, and I don't know, maybe some shippers would even get involved and say, hey, look, I've got some great brokers, carriers that I deal with, but even stuff slips by them, and this is really kind of affecting us, But I don't know. What are you guys have any other thoughts on how to fix this? Like I said, but do your due diligence and share this information with other people, right? Share this post with them. If nothing else, share this post from the group and show them what a 2-second Google search does, right? That this address with those 15 carrier and broker MCs literally goes to this virtual office. Share that with them. Take 2 seconds and do a quick Google search. That alone right there should have been the biggest red flag not to book with that broker or that carrier. Before you did any of the other checks, check with the insurance company, check the FMCSA, anything, right? I'm not saying you can do that every single time, but that would be the biggest red flag for me. Just checking the address and see something like this happen. And I'm not kidding. Literally, I just typed in the address. And look, Intelligent Office had the address right there, clicked on it, and boom. And I don't know, maybe the owners of this building, this suite, this virtual office, maybe they need to be contacted and made aware of what these people are doing. Right? They don't want a bunch of angry carriers and brokers showing up at their office with their torches and pitchforks, right? I'm half tempted to call them Monday morning, just be like, hey, are you even aware of who you're working with? Maybe they don't care. Maybe there's some rich dude from somewhere that's in cahoots with some of these people, and they set up these big office buildings and they rent them out and they make their money and they don't care. I don't know, maybe. But we need to do something for sure. Like I said, I don't have all the answers. This is, again, why I'm reaching out to you guys. You guys are smart, right? You're all freight masters. That's why I refer to you guys as freight masters. You guys are awesome. But I will be posting, like, again, some of the other information that we got from Carrier OK. But again, when they sent me over this hotspot, you know, and this information here, I had to get this out to you guys. So, but if you know somebody who's not already a part of the group, a member of the YouTube channel, by all means, I'm going to keep talking about this more and more. In fact, this might almost kind of be my mission, right? I know we talk about freight sales and building relationships and networking and all of these things that help us be successful as carriers and brokers. But with this becoming such a plague on our industry, maybe I'll take a little time out from some of the rest of that, or, you know, maybe just slip it in here and there and just focus on some of these scams and stuff. And, you know, we all kind of educate each other and learn and combat this. Right? Invite your friends, family to the group. Again, don't forget to tell them to make sure that they answer the membership questions and things. Invite them to the YouTube channel, right? Even some of the older videos that I've done in the past are still very, very relevant. It comes to networking, using LinkedIn, all of that stuff, right? Building relationships. And we have shippers in the group too, right? If you're struggling, reach out to me. Again, I'm gonna do this at least once during every video from now on for anybody. Some of you have already, and I have answered you. I think I'm all caught up. I haven't checked this morning yet. Excuse me. But if you email me, again, I typically answer everything in the order in which it's received. And if it warrants a phone call, I will give you out my phone number and we can, discuss things over the phone, because sometimes it's the back and forth with the emails. It's too slow. We can maybe set up a Zoom meeting or something, and discuss some things. If you'd like to be, if you'd like to come on and share as a carrier or a broker, maybe some of the things that you're doing to combat the double brokering and some of the scams, or you have an idea, that you'd like to share. If if you're a carrier and you've got some other pain points and things, right? If you're a broker, doesn't matter. Hit me up if you'd like to jump on and be a guest, right? This is a community. I'll bring you on. But anywho, with that, I just kind of want to jump on again, do this video after sharing that post last night, and I rather than answering a bunch of comments, and it just seemed easier to kind of jump on and do this video. But again, share, like, subscribe, invite. Okay, I love y'all. I really, truly do. I love this industry. And again, like I mentioned yesterday, it's really, it's almost like an art form to me. You know, it's sort of the way I look at it. It really can be a very beautiful thing. It's a bunch of great people, you know. And when I get a chance to talk to a new carrier and build that relationship, and I get to spend, 20 minutes to an hour, sometimes even, with an owner operator or a fleet owner, and just really kind of get to know each other, right? And share information, things that we're seeing. I love that, right? But anywho, guys, again, I hope this post was helpful. I'll keep sharing. We'll keep fighting this together. And again, if you have any ideas, things, anything that you would like to share, by all means, do it. As always, guys, I hope you have a great weekend, right? And we'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye now.